great to see so many people at short notice in here. I think that's absolutely brilliant. For the people that don't know me, my name's Jane Collins and I'm one of your two MEPs, Member of the European Parliament for my sins, for Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire. I'd like to start today by thanking Owais for inviting me here to talk to you. He is our UKIP's amazing candidate for Bradford East and for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. I'd also like to thank his dedicated team who I follow on Facebook and Twitter, and I don't know how they have time to sleep because they're on there constantly campaigning and leafleting. I'm very proud of Owais' bid to become UKIP's first Member of Parliament for Bradford East. He is not only a great parliamentarian, but he is a true man of the people, and that's very, very important because nowadays you tend to find that you're in Westminster and it's a bubble, and the people that are represented as MPs in Westminster don't really appreciate what goes on probably north of wherever. They really are detached from us in the north of the country. So it's very important that we have a true man of the people. And I know if you put your trust in him, he will work extremely hard for the betterment of Bradford East and the community on a whole. Despite the negative press coverage of UKIP, which it has very unfairly received during this election campaign, we're fighting for very simple goals which will benefit the whole of the UK. I think we look to produce clear, progressive policies which I'm finding most people understand and also want to invest in. And I know that Owais, the same as me, will be truly committed to dealing with problems through strong leadership and also through very much creative ideas and innovation which will help the community, not the same stale old politics that you get when an area has been a one-party state for a lot of years. I'm not really reading my speech, I'm just looking at what's on. UKIP brings the promise to bring common sense back into politics and to fight for the British people, no matter what race, creed or religion. And while these are simple promises, these are things that the traditional parties have forgotten, and they don't really hold the same values anymore. So the promise I make here today is that UKIP is different. Unlike many politicians, I actually prefer listening to actually talking. And I love being out on the campaign trail. And again, with Owais, I think that's somebody else that enjoys talking to people as well. You have to do this, you have to listen, because if you become an MP, everybody then is your employer. And if you don't listen to your employer, you can't succeed and you can't make change. And it's a sense as well today that I'd like to speak of community spirit. And not just in Bradford East, but also in Yorkshire as a whole. Much has been said and written about the concept of multiculturalism since it was popularised by Tony Blair and New Labour. The aims of multiculturalism were very noble, and the simple fact is though, and we have to admit, somewhere along the lines, it's failed. We now have got to look at a new way of moving forward, and we need interculturalism. We need social cohesion, and we need tolerance towards absolutely everybody. So all your beliefs and your culture you keep, but you've got to be tolerant to everybody else's beliefs and culture. And that is across the board to every British citizen. And we have a big job in making that work, and we have to come together to make that work. This is why I'm championing interculturalism. In plain English, change brought about through the promotion of cross-cultural dialogue and understanding, and the most of all, friendship between different cultures. Now, I'm not going to go on and on and on today, but I think that with the press, they like to say that UKIP isn't doing well in the polls, and oh, it's losing support, and it's all propaganda. We are doing exceptionally well. I think if you knock on the doors and talk to people on the doorstep, you will know that yourselves. And we're looking forward to some good results in this election. But it is a long battle, and it's a battle where you're finding your old traditional parties are wanting to resist as much as they can. They don't want things to change. They want the status quo. They've become very, very comfortable in their Westminster bubble with their nice, attractive wage packet and all their expenses and everything else. They're happy down there. They don't really know what it's like on the street. They don't really know what it's like to go and struggle for a week, thinking at the end of the week, you know, am I going to feed the family for the weekend, or have I run out of money? They don't know that feeling. I can remember being very young, in my early 20s, and because I was struggling for money, I thought it would be a good idea to go and work in a fish and chip shop, because at least I knew I could pinch a few chips. It was my way of thinking, yes, I'm going to get fed this week. And and it was down when I was working in Newmarket, and I was working in a racing yard. And after eating all the fish and chips, I'm afraid I wasn't working there very long, because unfortunately I'm not a motivator. But I do know what it's like to be hard up. I do know what it's like to have to work, and I do know what it's like in the real world. And that's what we're voting for. Proper politicians, old-fashioned politicians that represent their community, their constituency, and their party comes second. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to me here today. You have a fantastic person in Owais. He has the film star smile. Sees on Twitter and Facebook all the time.
Give me his budget.
Sorry, Harry. Sorry, Harry.
I'm the invisible
Oh,
Harry.
Harry, no, I didn't mean that. You are
Please, mention Harry.
no.
Come on. We're covering East and West here.
But I'm sorry, Harry, I truly am sorry I'm not mentioning you. Harry is totally exceptional as well. I've campaigned a lot with Harry up and down the country, and he's a great candidate too. And you've all got a battle, but it's a battle that if you don't win this time, you might lose this particular battle, but you will win the war, and we will win the war, and we will get proper representation. With these two candidates, you can't go wrong.
Thank you.
Right then, thank you very much.